Hey everybody, Asher here. It's Kerbal Space Program 2 time. Yet again, it is the 0.1.5 update, which allegedly I've been told is the update that has started to really work towards fixing the thing. Now, if you somehow missed out on what happened with Kerbal Space Program 2, it is a very beloved franchise that is currently sitting at mostly negative reviews on Steam, and with good reason. The game was released in a state where it absolutely should not have been released. But it's been pushed out the door. The team has been diligently working on things. They've made a much applauded hire of the modder for the Kerbal Space Program 1 cloud mod. So we're going to be trying to look at some clouds here. I will say, though, as I have to delete this one because I started a recording without actual audio here, we're going to just be doing a new campaign here. I do want to show just a few of the options that are here. And we're going to keep it on normal for now. We're going to turn off the first time user experience. The tutorial is actually very good here, but campaign name is going to be negative because that's where we're at right now. The agency name is going to be dumpster fire because I don't want to say that's the state that the game is in right now, but it is definitely in peril. And it's something where I really want this game to be good. Like, I really, really do. That's a little too dark for the flag. Let's make it like that. Kind of doing circus tent colors, it's fine. But this is a game that I want to be good. But, I mean, I did try to do a series on this game previously, and the game just didn't function well. Things didn't save, things didn't load, things didn't stay consistent. Performance was awful, but we can see, like, some clouds floating up there right now. Now, if we take a look at the settings, as we have cats starting to destroy the house as they've been doing lately here. I don't know if we want to keep the headphones. I guess we'll keep that in there. I just want to show the graphics here real quick. I do have everything on high. That's just kind of how the game started. I don't know if this is necessarily where it should be, but this is where we're going to start because if I can recreate the thing that I've already done 3 times here on launches, I want y'all to be able to see what the clouds look like, because if you're familiar with the Kerbal Space Program 1 cloud mod, then you already know what I'm talking about, but it is an amazing piece of work that really adds to the excitement of flying around in space. You know, I'm kind of glad I had to restart recording because I forgot to put a decoupler there, and that would have been awkward when I was trying to save my ship later on. But we're going to build something that is incredibly simple. And I'm not really going to try to edit it. My goal here is just to show the game as is out of the 10 and see kind of what we can make of it. So what that means is that we're just going to put some radial decouplers here. We're going to put it in a 3. And let's add some solid boosters so that we don't need no struts where we're going. This will be fine. We do need some nose cones, assuming that aerodynamics those are a little big. There you go. We need some happier little nose cones. So we're going to fly here. We got quite a bit of delta V. I'm going to save this to try to work with it later. It's kind of like the ship's on fire. This ship is just going to be called Please Help Distressed. All right, so if we look at this through the load screen, and this is something that I had a problem with before because shit would just get overwritten randomly. And I say randomly like there was no rhyme or reason. I could never get an explanation why. We'll see if this works later. We'll see if this loads correctly later, because I had ships totally fall apart in the vehicle assembly building before trying to save it. And for some reason, my phone just decided to reboot. That's really exciting when it's sitting there on the counter, and it doesn't give me a work notification. It's giving me a you're rebooting notification. Well. So here we are. Now I do have audio. It was weird before that I didn't have game audio, but it also didn't have audio while recording. So like I said, we have the sky, the clouds. When I launched before, the clouds would always look very like pixelated and weird. There we go. Now we have our countdown. Now we have our music. I don't know what was up before. It may have just been an OBS thing, to be honest. Now the little shit that shoots out of here, this is all still pre-rendered, so this isn't actually smoke that's coming from the ship. Like you can see, 3 rockets wouldn't necessarily eject that kind of smoke, or maybe it would. But there we go, flying high into the air here. The frame rate looks good. We haven't built a very big rocket yet. We're going to try to do that, depending on how disastrous this video goes here, but we're going to just go up into the clouds. Okay, this is not as extreme as what I've had before, but this is still the exact same thing I don't know if it's just a me thing or what, but we are going into the air. I guess I probably should have put some little air folds on the side here. I may have to edit this just to put some screenshots of what I had in the no sound recording, because like there was like fire and stuff, but I didn't actually explode. But anyway, since we are just flying straight up in the air because I over-engineered this and put too many solid boosters for the amount of weight that we have on here, what I'm going to try to do is to fly back into the clouds, because as much as these artifacts here are kind of shocking, and I did send a bug report, they do go away. They don't persist in the map screen. It's really, really weird. But okay, our solid boosters are almost out. Our altitude... Oh, well, okay, that one's on me. Yeah, we should be able to do a little bit of a turn here in a second and fire up the engine. Hopefully we pick the right one. And I don't necessarily know if I want to go into like some kind of big old burn or something. I probably have enough delta V to do like a pass by of the moon. If I could be really cool, I could go to Minmus. I never actually made it to Minmus in Kerbal Space Program 2 in the original series. Like, I flew to friggin' Dres and shit. But Minmus is something that I just didn't get to. Just weird for where the game is or was or could be, and we are looking through the planet right now. That's fascinating. Always curious about how those things work. But yeah, apparently, like, shit has changed. You can actually lock that on the screen now. That was one of my #1 like big things I wanted to have changed, and that's been implemented. Now my apoapsis is terrible, because what I should be doing is just letting myself fly up there. So let's do that. Let's fly up there. We have some interesting... Oh, did I accidentally slow it down? No, we are hard locked because we're still in the atmosphere right now, so I can't actually go up here. So that was weird, because I was trying to do ×4, and the ×4, there we go, ×6, ×7. There we go. So now we're away from the surface. It's working a little bit better. Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm not necessarily at like top spec by any stretch of the imagination, so I wonder a little bit if it's an AMD thing with what's going on here. We're going to just time warp to this point here, and we're going to just shoot forward and fly. Now, one of the cool things, if you don't know the old knowledge for Kerbal Space Program, is that if you want to fly to the moon, you could load up a new game, point your ship at the moon as you're flying out here, and if you have enough delta V, you will have an encounter with the moon from the very beginning. There's all these like orbital mechanic injection angles and all that stuff. Pretty much this is what you want. Now I'm a little bit further out than I'd like to be, so we don't have quite that level of efficiency, and I'm probably need to restage here. So that's definitely going to be a problem. So we may be having a crash land here a little bit sooner than expected, but it's fine. Let's take the autopilot off of this. Let's just go. We're just a tiny little tin can here. This was one of my favorite workhorse engines in Kerbal Space Program 1 because it's just so damn efficient. And I have made a very inefficient burn here, but we are raising this up a little bit. Like I said, my goal, and I failed at this in my test flight here, is to try to land back into the clouds to see if I can get see if I can repeat the issue here. But yeah, we have an orbit. That's exciting. I didn't totally fuck it up. Language, I know. Yeah, let's... Yeah, the maneuver node stuff, some of it still works. We're just gonna make a maneuver node here, even though I know what I'm doing. We're just gonna try to give ourselves a little bit better of an orbit here, but like once again, you can maybe click on this. Yeah, and that should work. So we're just gonna time warp, go straight there, and then we'll have a few seconds to hang out and talk, and like 30 seconds until it's burn time. We should be pointing towards the node, which is very important. Fortunately, that node's also prograde. There's the planet below us. It does look very nice. It really does. But we're just going to try to go from when the game says to burn. I'm sure there's a mod out there that will automatically do it for us. And if you played enough Kerbal Space Program, you know, like, you're supposed to burn evenly on both sides of the node. That's not what this does. But we're gonna do it anyway, because now we are in an orbit. Like in a stable orbit, and we are pretty much at the places advertised. Nice. Okay, so let's just do a quick, like, jaunt around the planet. And just see what it looks like. It's one of the things that you gotta understand is that Kerbal Space Program 2 is very pretty. And Kerbal Space Program 1 modded is also very pretty. But there's something nice about having, like, the game itself, like the original, without having to mod it already looking as good as it does. So to have modders come in and actually get on the development team for Kerbal Space Program 2 is a really big deal. So hopefully that can work here now. For those, now, like, if we have the, okay, I'm trying to zoom in on, I'm just scrolling forward. It's like, why are we not zooming in on the mountains there? How does space travel work? I guess what I want to try to do is land in some clouds. So if we make another maneuver node, like right here, and we go ahead and we just, like, pop this down a little bit. We don't want to go that hard. And this is where it gets a little bit annoying to, like, hit the button, because we can't see it through the planet. But yeah, if we put the periaps down here, that's going to put us in the wrong place. So we want to kind of put this burn on the opposite end of where we're at. Now I can do some of these other, like, sideburns. Can't talk. But yeah, we just want to get dumped into the atmosphere and hopefully get pulled in, like, over here. See if we can fix this ever so slightly. Yeah, I just really want to go into these clouds. Any of them. Now I can build a plane to see if that works too. Like I said, I don't always know if it's like a shader compiling issue or what. But we have a 13-second burn that we're going to get to in 43 seconds. Can we get there a little bit faster, please? Time warp 2, time warp 4. All right. Okay, started my burn a little early, guys. Okay, let's see where we go. Because we can slow this down kind of anytime we want to. So 1500 periapsis. Yeah, it's like, please stop. You've screwed yourself up so much. But I think that's going to be sufficient for our purposes here. Like, maybe if I turn towards here, can we push our orbit just like... I always forget. And this is me being bad at this game. Like, if I want to put my stuff a certain way, which direction do I need to actually fly or point to? It all comes intuitively later, but we're really not there now. So this'll just do. How about that? All right, so we're just gonna go back into this view here. There's no re-entry heat or anything yet, so we can actually keep all this together if we want to. This engine isn't going to do shit in the atmosphere. But like I said, what I want to see is descending back into the atmosphere. If we're going through clouds, are we going to have the same kind of cloud garbage issue? And the answer to that is a really kind of big tell for... I'll tell you again that I'm not seeing this in other people's, like, videos or screenshots, and there's all these people saying, like, 1.5 is the time to come back to Kerbal Space Program. Everything is better. And you know to trust the internet for stuff like that. So we are going back in the atmosphere. Am I actually going to miss every single bit of cloud cover? Now we are going nice and fast. And you can see our perigee is dropping rapidly. Our ship hasn't, like, turned butt first yet. But there we go. There's a lot of clouds. We are missing all of them. That's okay. It's really interesting though, because like if you ever look at pictures of Earth in like real life, like real Earth, where we are right now, there's so much cloud cover. People just forget what our home can be like. Okay, we want to go faster. For some reason, hitting it up to ×4 CD is making things feel slower. So we're just gonna have to let Bob Kerman here just have a minute. So let's just talk. The Kerbal Space Program 2 is going to be what it's going to be. I may actually miss all the cloud cover again. We may want to do this by the jet airplane here, but we do have, first off, lots of cloud cover down here. So if I had just tried to fly south a little bit, I could still try to do that, but we're probably going to hit something here. I still don't know why my tin can hasn't turned, unless I just need to get further in the atmosphere. But I asked in another video, I think it was the Bit Trip Runner game, is it possible to be nostalgic for a game that's that came out in 2011? And Kerbal Space Program, which came out after 2011, I'm pretty sure. I should know the answer to that. But yeah, it is definitely possible to feel nostalgic for a game that isn't necessarily that old. But let's go ahead and pop this part off. Well, I can't do that while we're under the effects of time acceleration. I guess if we just auto to the ground here, we put this stage down here. We can just do this. Hey, we have lost flight control. Bet. Okay. So we're gonna be able to see something here, and our little pod should flip around here very shortly. Like I said, I just want to see if there's a bunch of garbage or if it's just me or what's going on. I already did submit a bug report. It's fine. I feel like I'm saying the same thing again and again. That's just how it is, though. I mean, like many people, Kerbal Space Program was a really big introduction into like how space travel actually ticks. You can't just point in a direction and like go, for instance. So obviously I wasn't one of those people that turned it into a career. I've seen plenty of people, it's like I work at the European Space Agency or NASA or something now because of Kerbal Space Program. But that's the kind of impact that a game can have on just people as a whole. And that's where it's important for a developer like this to not, or a publisher not to just shove it out the door because it isn't making the numbers, or they don't think they're going to be able to release it in the right quarter or calendar year. And there are a lot of questions about the development of this, sure, but you can't just sit there and say it's just a game when it is a game, but it's not just a game. Oh wow, we're actually going to get some like nice peaks here, but like we look here, like the topography is awesome, and apparently they've changed how they render this as well to be less taxing on systems. The clouds look really nice from up here too. It's a very big difference from before where they were kind of grainy even on my graphics card, which is at the, if you want to know what I'm running, I'm at the bottom end of the recommended specs. It's one of those things where my card is showing its age, and I'm really, if there's other things I want to play, I'm really going to have to consider upgrading like my power and stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to get a cool descent view into the mountains, so that's pretty cool. I mean, we're going at 246 meters per second and kind of just dropping. Probably a good time as any to go ahead and launch that parachute. But yeah, we're going to go right through a cloud. That's awesome. We're going to go right through some mountains. That's awesome. Like I said, it's very pretty, and hopefully we do see that looks so much better than before, and we don't have like the garbage here that was there. So yeah, that, oh, spoke too soon. Oh boy. So this is one reason I wanted to take this video, is that I am a believer in the impact this kind of game can have on people. But considering there was at one point, I think actually in truth, a Kerbal Space Program classroom edition to try to help kids get introduced to that. This is one of those games that I played with a lot with my kids when they were very small, even if it was just to be like press space bar to see how you can get your ship to fly and then explode. So it could be the graphics card that I have here, but I do think that at least the effort is still being made. I don't think this game is being treated like abandonware at all, but I have high expectations. And I really want those to be met. And I'm very curious here. We're going to let this actually descend all the way down. I'm very curious to see if they change the graphic requirements or something like that, or if this just eventually gets fixed. I am running on the latest driver, so it's not a driver issue. But yeah, like this valley looks really nice. There's some happy little trees down there. I hope this garbage disappears, because I'd love to be able to see it better. I mean, if I go back to the Kerbal Space Center and that erases this, then maybe I can see. But we gotta land first. So clearly there's something about the injection to and from the clouds that is making this very exciting. So what I think I'm going to do here, since we've kind of tested that out to see, is we're going to go build something a little bit more complicated. There we go. We've landed. Bob, take a walk. I know you can't see anything, Bob. Can you take off your helmet, please? Yeah, plant a flag. I can't see. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if there's an EVA option to take off the helmet or not. I hope this atmosphere is breathable for you, dude. Okay, so we'll leave Bob there. Let's go back to the Kerbal Space Center, and we still have garbage on the screen. Let's go to the tracking station. We do not have garbage on the screen. We do have whatever that is. That's a big icon. Let's go to... okay, so still garbage. Vehicle assembly building. I guess one of the questions is, when does it load or unload? I remember testing some things and seeing some serious loading issues with stuff before, but we're gonna build something a little bigger and a little more complicated now. And this is just a stress test and see how many parts you can fit on the stuff. So we're gonna go big. Okay. Probably should put a decoupler there just for fun. I guess technically I don't care if the ship lives or dies. So maybe I just like, it just doesn't feel right to leave my poor Kerbals to die. It just don't feel right. Okay. So we have this. We're gonna put our Poodle giant Methylox engine. I could put something else here. Probably not that. Let's do a mainsail. Fuck it. We're not here for efficiency. We're here to make big things go boom. Now, one of the things that I had the biggest trouble with was the fairing system. So my first thing is to see if I can get an actual, like, if I can remember where the fairings are. That's a big thing to remember. Those are docking ports, radial, stack. This is if you're familiar. Oh, they do have the thermal things here, but thermals are still not implemented yet. Clearly, we would have seen that otherwise. So there's energy. I guess probably better while I stall trying to figure out where stuff is. I could put a stupidly large battery there. We should put a little battery there, which means we should probably put some solar panels on there somewhere. Let's put two, like, right here. That'll be fine. And then the damn fairing payloads. That's where it would be. So this is one of my least favorite things to work with before. How is it now? Because we can do like this. Then we hit the plus button. We can do like that. You want to bring it in just a little bit, and we can do the plus button again. And this shit just would look goofy after a little while, but hopefully it works. Like I said, I want this game to be good. It looks like I made a really shitty looking. No, it looks like something you use on your own time at home. Oh, that's fine. All right, so we're going to put a... I don't think we need to put a decoupler here as well, although that was my habit in the past. So let's add a stage here to put... apparently we're not doing that. Okay. So we're doing that, we're doing that. I feel like I've had problems in the past, and I guess there's a way we can test this. We just put a large decoupler here. Aerodynamics be damned. We put this down here. We put a giant engine down here, and then let's do 6 of these. Now this is still not as complicated of a thing as it could be. For real. Okay, that's probably not ideal. Because if we put these here, one of the things I ran into before is that these have a tendency to run into each other. So I'm very curious about how the clipping works there. We're going to definitely use some Clydesdales this time. If I could remember what to click on. There we go. Big engines that are actually not connected to the decouplers. Nice. Okay. Still haven't figured out a good way to get this to work. All right. I guess that's okay. There we go. All right. We are flying a circus tent into the circus of space. Obviously, what's your motto for original Kerbal Space Program is more struts. And that's exactly what we're doing, although I'm having very poor strut discipline not running these in opposite directions of each other. All right. How can we get some ship stats up here? Parts manager, engineer's report, thrust to weight, total mass, dry mass, 81 parts. Still doesn't have like as much delta V as some other things, but that was part of them. So this is not going to be the fly safe. This is going to be so it's going to be our please help ship, and its name is going to be not working, no description. That's fine. We'll try to load into something else in a minute, but I'm very curious to see how this one flies. And let's launch it from Launchpad 4. Seems fun. All right. Garbage is still there. Okay. Well, you know what we're going to do anyway, because we were zoomed all the way out here. Okay, first off, a little bit of a problem with the staging. Nothing we can't fix. Let's revert to the vehicle assembly and fix the staging, because we don't want the decouplers to go off first. That's something where you'd hope the game would be a little bit smarter with how you assembled it, but we saw how much of a trouble it had. Okay, going back to the vehicle assembly, that worked okay. So we definitely don't want to run these engines at the same time. So you go there. You go there. So it's going to be this, 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 this. That's why you check your staging, folks. That, and then we land wherever. All right, let's try that again. And the garbage is gone. Huh. I'm sure we can get it back, though. Everyone loves a nighttime launch. All right. Do we get our cute countdown again? We do. Now, the fun part about Launchpad 4 is that I don't remember which way is east. So we're gonna play with that in a second. So that looks a little bit more like what the smoke should be, but once again, it's And we've shown this before. You fire a rocket the wrong way to launch and the smoke still comes out the bottom. That's pre-rendered. It's a cool effect. I should have put some aerodynamics on this. Oh well. So I'm curious if we're going to get the garbage when we go through the cloud line. Because we can't see the clouds. There we go. It's not so bad. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to revert to the VAB here. We're going to go ahead and add some more parts to this. And we're going to try to do the cloudiest launch we can. See if we can make that work. Because now we're just testing. Alright. So aerodynamics, give me some wingies. Chicken wings all around. That's really big. I think maybe we don't need the actual wings. Alright. That's fine. Ooh, don't know why we jumped up there all of a sudden. Okay. And then we have maybe a need for a few more wings in here, if we can. Suddenly, look at that, more parts. And please help. Alright. So how many parts do we have now here? Engineers report 93 parts. We got a little more delta V out of actually pointing our shit in the right direction. I love the trip planner purge thing. We can actually get to BOP if we want to with this for a one-way. Nice. We can get to ELU if we want to. The big question, obviously, is like getting out of the sphere of influence. We could almost land on Tylo. Now that is a mission that is not for the faint of people. But the first thing is first is that we got a little bit of a shake here, so that's promising. And we are going to time warp until we get some better clouds. So let's and note the garbage is gone again. Okay, it's gonna be hard without the sunrise here. Oh, there's just beautiful, beautiful launch conditions at Launchpad 4. I love this time lapse. But I kind of need some clouds. Can we summon them? I don't know. Oh, we had them. They came rolling through. Oh. Okay, I gotta be not as aggressive. So we want daytime clouds. That's what we want. There we go. There. It's so good I got my southern accent out. All right. So let's do a... I forgot what the quick save button is. I don't want to accidentally quick load. So we're just gonna save game. That's fine. Regular old save. And we're gonna see if we can replicate this cloud issue. We only have Jebediah and Valentina. We didn't equip a third Kerbal in here, so... Maybe if we find some Kerbals on the way, we can drag them in here. Alright, and we're flying. What could possibly go wrong? Like, it's smooth. Do you remember at the beginning of Kerbal Space Program 2 when things would slow to a crawl when you launched? So that's an improvement. Obviously that looks great and is going pretty smooth. We're getting a little bit of a cloud issue here. There we go. There we go. Just some garbage on the screen. That's alright. Now, normally I want to do my gravity turn at like 10,000 meters, and maybe these Clydesdales are actually going to let me do that. Alright. Okay, we got dramatic music and I don't know why. But we can probably just take this one somewhere else. The moon would probably be simplest. Minmus could be more fun, but I hate to do that live on camera without having anything else open. Whoop. Yep. We're setting the garbage on fire. I think it's really interesting that it wiggles around. That tells me something about where it's living and why it's there. Okay, and it's gone. And now we can just see the regular fire. So, lower atmosphere entering the clouds. That is your data point. Because that looks really good. I almost want to fly to Jool because we saw a lot of clouds at Jool before. And they didn't look great. The only problem is this is a really shitty time at the very start of the game to fly to Jool, and we are going to have like no gravity help here. Look at this, the worst gravity turn in existence. But hey, we're not flipping over. Like there was a point in Kerbal Space Program 2 where if you did any of this and you touched any of this, your ship would just like fly to pieces. So this is a decent test. Okay, I love the change in the nav ball there. Not 100% certain what's triggering it, but all right, and Clydesdale's away. Let's throw our big engine on here for a second as we don't have any stability. And let's figure out where the hell we're doing with this, because I've done a bad job and I should feel bad. So if we go like this, we burn for a little while. That's a 4-minute burn. Not my favorite, but all right. I did set myself up for this, so we're gonna give it a try. Because now we can't fly to the moon like we had before. You kind of want the moon to be there. Let's just see if the game can actually get us one of these. So okay, so 30 seconds to get there. Did I forget to give myself any gyroscopic controls? Because we got some internal pushing around going on, and that's good. One other thing that I'm interested in is this eating fuel from this? And the answer is I don't know. We actually don't have any fuel data here. Fascinating. Well, here goes nothing on that burn. It's just a 1-minute burn. How bad could it be? Pretty bad, it turns out, but flight in progress. Okie doke. I mean, the question is, how bad did I screw this up? The answer is always terribly. But it doesn't feel like the game's careening on crashing, so that's a plus. I feel like I should try to fly to another planet with an atmosphere just to see. But hey, these things all detach like they were supposed to, even though they kind of clip into each other a little bit. So that's a positive. The maneuver node is going to give us an orbit. Not exactly like what we intended, but it is going to give us one. So, there we go. Not the best, not the worst. If we want to fly to Minmus, I forget what the move is for that. Okay, so it gets really easy to exit here. Alright, so this is just all of your moving around. We're getting really damn close to... Oh, we get a Minmus encounter. Okay. And I'm curious here because you can see this bar through there now. Did they fix this? It looks like they did. Hot diggity dog. You know what? Let's just take the Minmus encounter and run with it. Because I can fix that later. I did say, well, but yeah, like, remember one of the original irritating bugs was not having, like, these persist. It's not perfect. I still can't pull some of this because it's inside the planet, but it's better. Okay, so that's an encounter. Let's go. So required delta V 802. Start burn in 9 minutes. We're just gonna stay on this and see if the game can take us directly to Minmus or not. All right, so we're suddenly close to here. Hopefully, one of my sanity checks is always to get out of the map mode and see if we're actually burning into the planet. Doesn't look like we are. Also be interesting to know if encountering the planet a little closer means that we don't. One without an atmosphere still gives us garbage, because that's another important data point too. My gut tells me to start burning right now, but I'm going to do what the game tells me. We're testing the game's ability to coach here. Alright. So, a little bit of a burn. We got a giant engine here. I'm actually not sure if this engine's going to last for this whole burn, or if I'm going to have to switch. And if I have to switch, that's going to be a little bit of an issue, but let's 5, 4, 3, 1, stop burn. Oh, I missed it. Okay, so we had a moon encounter there for a second. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And we have an encounter. It doesn't match that at all, so... But we do have an encounter here. Apparently a really close encounter. Well, you know what? Okay, it's not that close. So if we, like, fly this in just a little bit more... Yeah, there we go. And then we move this... What was it? It'll move ourselves a little bit this way. It's going to take forever to turn, isn't it? Yeah. You know what? Let's just get to Minmus and we'll figure out the orbital mechanics there. That'll be fine. Like, you know what? We're actually just about here, so let's just see if we get it. But yeah, like I said, never made it to Minmus. Why not now? Okay, so that gets us a little bit closer there. Not too great. Let's just get over there. It's gonna be 4 days. 4 days of flight. I don't know if it'll stop time when we get there, but we have a little bit of shit going on. We are making like a polar encounter, so this is inefficient as hell. We're gonna be flying through here real fast too, so. 2 hours, 1 hour, and we are in the sphere of influence. Cool. All right. So, oh, I forgot how yellow that was. Okay, where's Minmus? That's Kerbin, right? No, that's Kerbal. I guess that's Minmus, because that's where we're pointed towards. No. I suck at identifying things. If you've watched me play Dyson Sphere Program, you know that to be the case. Alright, so how do we put ourselves in orbit here? First off, probably by unpausing the game, because we can't do maneuver nodes while paused, apparently. So if we just back this thing up a little bit. Oh, we gotta use a lot of burn for that. Well, that's fine. We knew going in it was really sloppy. So let's just give ourselves a parabolic nightmare. That's fine. And it's going to be a 7-second burn. No, it's going to be a little bit more than that. Well, this is going to get a little spicy because if we get over here, we need to start our burn earlier because we're going to have to change engines and we're going to lose a lot of weight. So there's probably no harm in me doing this burn, like starting it real soon. There it is. Hey, Minmus friend. Let's just start this burn now. Alright. Okay. And just like that. Oops. Don't know why we suddenly went that way. Like we were good. And then we weren't. But anyway, we still have an orbit. That's the fun of this, I guess. Technically, we don't need this fuel tank, so just put myself between a rock and a piece of candy. So if that's the sun, I was right. That was Kerbin, and there's Minmus. So I'm not crazy. We're just gonna ditch this now and do this. We're gonna do this ourselves. Okay, how low can we go? Okay, there's... Alright. So if we go over here... Okay, we didn't crash into Minmus, but there it is. Now, Minmus has some much lower gravity, and we do have some sweet, sweet music here. We want to land on the sunny side of Minmus, preferably in one of these ice lakes. So if we can just get ourselves oriented in the correct direction. The time for maneuver nodes is gone. Like I said, I want to test and see if we get garbage. Clearly, we're close enough to the planet to potentially get garbage. So I imagine it's clouds that are doing that. And there's a lot of self-shadowing issues, but that's fine. All right. So almost there, and how crazy can we go here? Let's put ourselves in a nice, stable... I think 49's fine, and then we can just try to throw this right on there. So we're close enough to the planet that we can't go that hard that fast. Huh, did we just switch directions? Not really, okay. Okay, I did just F up my landing a little bit, but it's fine. We may just ditch the big thing and go with the smaller thing here in a second. Or we can just do it like this. Uh-oh. Landing on the pole of Minmus is actually really fun, but I wasn't looking for that kind of fun. All right. Okay, so we want to put this stage down here. All right, so we just ditched the big part of our ship here. We actually need to use the fairing first. Would be cooler to not do this in the dark, but hey, that's fine. Look, our ship isn't like glitching out. Not that we can see a damn thing, because space is not necessarily this dark. There's like stars and shit. All right. Okay, so we're at Duna, so instead of screwing up our original plan of going to a different place and finding out that there wasn't any bugginess here. We're going to see if the clouds here or the lithosphere on Duna actually causes the same glitch. But we're going to need to use some thrust to make this work. We got a big enough engine. This is good enough for, not Moho. Probably is good enough for a Moho landing. For a Minmus landing, because you can just land on the big butt. Oh, crap. Just wanted to turn up the background music. I think I'm going to leave it at that, though, so we'll see how this works if this glitches. If I do a Jool test flight, I'll add that too, but like I said, I want this game to be good. But it's in a better state. But still, buy with caution. For sure. But let's see if we land or we die. Don't even know where Jebediah went. It's like Valentina just took the thing for herself. So it goes. Thanks for watching. You all take care.